Mr. Christmas. These are the lit vintage metal characters. Back in the 1950s and earlier, in the late 40s, people started decorating their yards. It was a relatively new concept for Christmas decorating after World War II. And it became more than just popular. It became an American tradition. I love that Mr. Christmas went back and recreated these metallic pieces so that now we have them. Now, back in the old days, which by the way means 5 years ago, you would have to plug these in and run extension cords across the yard. Nowadays, the fact that most extension cords are colored green was because of Christmas lighting, because you tried to hide the cord. These are clearance sale priced at $54.95. They're not ginormous, but they're big enough at about 38.5 inches to definitely make a statement in your yard. And that battery operation just makes it super simple. I want to bring Andrea Corbo back into the conversation again. Andrea, you're way too young to remember when these first came out, but I love that they look old even when they're new.
Exactly. Well, that is the nostalgic magic of Mr. Christmas that you and I were talking about a little bit earlier. It's those sweet faces, those iconic characters that we remember from the holidays, and now in a design that we also remember having, but now updated. So you're right. They used to be plug-in back, in the day, and that really limited where you could put them. And now they're battery operated. They're on stakes. So you can literally put them anywhere outdoors. They are substantial enough that you will most certainly see them from the road. They are all illuminated. They just run on 3 AA batteries, which are nestled in the back and protected. There's a little press button that makes it super easy to turn it on and off or set the 6-hour timer. So again, timer option means you can put it out in your yard. You can put it a long way from the house and not have to worry about going in and out. Turn it on and off, and each one has a unique message. So there you're seeing the Merry Christmas sign that Santa is holding. Such a cute little sign, and an extra dimension because these are all 3-dimensional pieces right there beneath the lights that adorn that gift box that he's holding in his little mittens. So sweet. The elf has a wooden sign that says this house is under elf surveillance, and it's all trimmed in lights, red and green lights. And there's that iconic elf stocking and the little floppy hat and all of the details that Mr. Christmas has had in their vintage pieces for years, we've now recreated in these great metal yard signs. And then lastly, the snowman with that iconic top hat that says "Let It Snow" and the buttons down the front that are illuminated. It makes it such a great piece to share the joy of Christmas or leave it out for the whole winter season just to make you smile.
When I was a little kid, at Christmas time, Mom would use Santa Claus as the threat towards bad behavior. Santa's watching. The younger generation has grown up with elf guilt.
Yes.
Yeah, that
That's
elf
so
on the
true.
shelf.
The elf.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen.
That's so much a part of our culture now.
I wouldn't sleep well knowing that somebody's watching me all the time. So that elf guilt started back in the 40s with that little statement. This house under elf surveillance. They're adorable. I remember this elf, and anybody who is my age, and I don't mind saying, I'm 61. I grew up, 1960 was my birthday year. I grew up with these little golden books at Christmas time about this elf and this particular imagery of Santa and that particular snowman. With the carrot nose that always pointed to about maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. I remember these characters, and to see them kind of come to life in the front yard, I think is fabulous for all generations.
It's really, really fun. And I want to show you one feature that's going to make this a little user-friendly for you. At the back of each, they have a little wing nut. If you detach that, these actually fold in half.
Yep.
So for storage during the year when you're not using them out in the yard, they're so much smaller and easier, more compact to store. But it's so easy. All you have to do is pop it back up, put that little wing nut back on the back, and that's how you keep it standing in its full position. So like you said, it's about 38 inches from top to the bottom of the stake. So about 32 inches of that is going to stand above the ground. but it's such a sweet piece. So, so easy to set up. I mean, that was it. You saw it, right? You unfold it, you put the wing nut back on, you pop it into the ground wherever you want to display it. And it does. It brings that vintage charm, those memories. I mean, you cannot look at Santa with those gold spectacles and not remember those little golden books, or that snowman with the carrot nose, which is three-dimensional, also made out of metal, and that those sweet rosy cheeks on that smiling face, all the different bright colors that are painted so beautifully on each of these metallic pieces, and then their unique signs, their illumination. It's what Mr. Christmas does best, and helping us to bring those vintage memories into the present and share them with our families, our friends. Your neighbors are going to love seeing it. This is the year to start bringing some of that joy and that cheer and sharing it again with everybody in our lives.
I agree. I love decorating outdoors at Christmas. Indoors, it's fine, but I kind of leave most of that to the wife. But decorating outdoors, that is my domain. And I don't know about you, the older I get, the more sentimental I get. And I think at Christmas time, we all get more sentimental than any other time of year. I don't really think in terms of sentimental at Thanksgiving, except that one year the turkey was so dry that nobody, let mom forget it, right? But at Christmas time, you think about what it was like to be a kid. And remember, everything was bigger when we were kids. These sizes, they're a little over 3 feet in height. They're gonna stand out. If you want the snowman, that's been very popular. This is the only order of the season. I can't reorder them. I've got 150 left in the metal snowman, and then they're gone. Here's your Santa Claus. Here's that classic elf. Andrea, it is always good to see you. I thank you for getting up early in the morning and helping me out so much.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be with you, Dan. Merry Christmas in July.
Hey, coming up a little